Hey everybody, welcome. It's Monday and we are back live and it's about time to rock with Anna. And today I have a fabulous guest joining me, Christopher F. Lawrence. We're going to find out way more, but we've been a little bit off the grid. Things were happening, things were turning. We are still amidst the pandemic. Same wall color, if you notice, all of the Rock Dance Theater TV live stream from 2020 and 2021. But hey, each episode is fresh and exciting. And thank you so much, guys, for jumping in. And while I have a sip of my coffee, as I normally do, please take the time to be so kind and gracious to hit all of the follows, likes, the subscribes. You know the drill. Go. Okay, are we done? Thank you. Perfect. So if you guys are tuning in on all of your favorite platforms at Rock Dance Theater TV, welcome. And without further ado, let's jump right at it. I'm going to pop in my fabulous guest of today, Christian. Hello.
Hey, what's
welcome.
up, Anna? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Sun is still shining. You know, I'm excited to hang out with you for the next, hour, half an hour, however fate is gonna roll that out. Time to rock. Like, this is basically a podcast, a rock cast, but in my Rock Dance Theater world, it's one of these things where I just kind of love to hang out with people. I love meeting people, as we do in the rock world, be it backstage or at a venue or at a coffee shop. So yeah, I would love to hear what you are up to and ask some comfortable and uncomfortable questions during.
Sure.
So thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. And anything that you want to ask me, I'd be happy to answer. And if I can, shed some light on the situation, I'm more than happy to do so. The other I want to ask you though, really quickly, is is there somewhere where I could share right now, where I can put it on my page live, where I can get people to actually start watching right now?
Totally. Probably
right, so while I'm here.
While you're here, while we have you, go ahead and push our conversation either on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you are kind of open with your stream. Anna Achimowicz profile, basically the place where everything folds in, or whichever one you find. If you like, I can even send you the link right now, and I can send all of you guys as well.
If you want to send it to me, and then I'll just post it right now on my Facebook page saying, like, tune in now.
Tune in right here, right now. This is the freshest news because Christian is on Rock Dance Theater TV.
Exactly.
Because that's the truth, right?
Yeah, you can just send it to me real quick, and I'll just in the inbox. I'll post it right now. I'll say, tune in now.
Right here.
So how you doing, Anna? Everything good today? You're all right?
Yeah, it's been, basically it's been a while for all of us. The last year and a half, we're kind of making baby steps with everything, meaning staying afloat, creating, being in touch, hanging out, but out of our living room. So in that sense, I would be remiss if to say and also ask you the very same thing. So thank you for asking first. Appreciate it. So far so good. We look for the brighter future in the very long spectrum with vaccines rolling out. Hell, I know I have my, vaccination card, my vaccination pass. I'm ready to rock. Like, I'm ready as anyone could be with my carry-on by the door. So, one of these things.
Can you also send it to me in the Facebook Messenger as well, real quick?
I did. I just did.
Oh, you did? Okay, great. I'm just gonna post real quick and tell people now, tune in.
Perfect. Tune in. Important things are going down.
It's
real life conversation. Yeah.
Tune in now. It's happening.
Yeah, it's finally happening. We had a little delay, but all of the good things, I figure, come to the people that wait. And hell, I know I'm the last person on earth to be patient. And also the pandemic is exercising the very next skill of mine, which is patience, amongst everything else. So,
well, patience is a virtue. You know that.
Yeah. I hear people tell me that all the time.
Patience is a virtue. I'm gonna say please share too. Please.
Said the guy that is basically playing in what hard rock, heavy metal, thrash bands, cover band of Black Sabbath, what have you. You don't play slow. That's what I know about you. You do play fast, like
yes, everything under the sun. So basically, what I'm doing now is I've sort of limited. Well, obviously, unfortunately, I've limited down to a couple of projects, but I'm doing my, Dead by Wednesday, which is my main metal band, and we have a lot of stuff happening with that band. I mean, we have a whole new album recorded. The pandemic actually helped us slow everything down, and we started writing, and now we have 10 songs done, and they're
awesome.
and they sound amazing. We're actually going to be doing this. You hear it here first. We
no way. Do I have a Let's Rock Live with an exclusive?
You do. You have you have something very, very exclusive. No one has even heard this yet, but this is a pretty big deal.
Wait.
So I don't know if you've heard the name Tom Flynn. I don't know if that name sounds familiar or not.
Of course. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's a director, a producer. He did the last 2 Lamb of God videos, the last 2 Body Count videos, Fire from the Gods, All That Remains. He took interest in one of our new songs, and he is now going to be shooting a brand new music video for Dead by Wednesday.
Awesome.
And the song track is a brand new song called Here Comes the Dead. And it's going to,
that is so dark. As if we don't have Dead the last, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years in metal and rock. And
absolutely. But this actually,
current history.
This actually is more so about the dead, meaning people on their social media pages staring at their phones, not really the dead as in like, here comes the dead, meaning like, here comes the people that are just
the zombie era.
Yeah, the zombie era, exactly.
Well, it's super interesting. Sorry to interrupt. It's interesting that you actually bring that up, because that's a huge topic among, and not only in rock, but like, of course, if I had a choice, I would love to be hanging out with you over a beer or coffee or whatever, just like in real life and in person. There's nothing that beats that connection. There's nothing that beats that energy exchange. Well, in the pandemic, in the last year and a half, that of course has changed all of our lives for the good, for the better, for the worst. Of course, we don't have a choice. I mean, where are you tuning in right now? By the way, Christian.
I'm in my studio, my band room.
Okay, awesome. Which city are you at with your studio?
I'm in Madison, Connecticut.
Madison.
Where are you? I thought you were in Italy.
Not in Italy. That's a good one. Well, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is like the 3rd or 4th time that Christian makes me laugh, which makes it even cooler because I like to hang with funny people and cool people. Number one was when you actually sent me the photo, which, by the way, if you guys go to the promo of our episode with Christian, the way he kind of embraces the whole situation, I saw that and I figured, oh my God, drummer, like this is uneditable. Come on. It's like no horizontal, no vertical. It's like, how the hell do I slap the logos and prep something decent? But it worked. I really love the way you embrace Let's Rock Live with Anna. So that was cool. Number 2 was today with you not being actually completely up to speed. We're getting to know each other here over this conversation. I'm a polyamorous Swede, which means I was born in Warsaw, Poland. I was raised in California, San Diego.
I love Poland. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite places.
Love it.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, I'll tell you my story.
That's awesome. Yeah, please.
Love Poland.
And everything else that is combined. Sweden has been in my life for like 13 years. I could have almost been Swedish because of my mom and her engagement that fell through. So, Italy, I do tour every now and then. I don't love the food.
Where do you live now? Where are you?
I am hunkered down. I'm hunkered down in Warsaw, Poland, smack in the middle of Europe right now, since the pandemic, to be honest. Longest that I've been in an orange room, I can tell you that.
Well, I'll tell you, like, a lot of, I have friends who came from Poland who are now here in the U.S. One of them actually did one of my tattoos on me.
Oh, no way. I'll see that.
she's an awesome.
presentation.
I can't really. It's hard to get there. I can't really. It's in the inside of my arm, so it's hard to show. But she was an intern. She did art, and then she started tattooing. And she was from Poland. Her name is Adita, and she did an amazing job. But anyway, so my first time touring Poland was 2 years ago, and
really?
And people always said, "Oh, you know, it's a very poor country, blah blah blah." And I went there. And not only was it absolutely stunningly beautiful, but the women were absolutely gorgeous. All the women. And
we are famous for that. That is true. I can testify.
And everyone was super nice. And the shows were amazing. They love rock and roll and metal. And I had nothing but the best time. And I can't wait to go back. I'm actually coming back to Poland. And supposedly, if everything goes the way it's supposed to, I have a tour in September in Europe, and the first show of the tour is in Poland.
No way.
I'm gonna tell you where it is right now. I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, let me hit you up after this in the unofficial part of the conversation, because this is not a coincidence.
Yes. Oh, here it is.
I might have an idea, or I might know a girl that has an idea.
Okay, so we're playing Stary Klasztor in Warklaw, Poland.
No way, Stary Klasztor. Yeah, that's a famous venue. Funny, that's actually the venue that I last saw John Corabi at. He played like 2 nights. Yeah. My ex-manager friend kind of knows the place, and I gigged there when I lived there. That's Breslau. That's like right on the border of Germany. Super cool town, very rock and roll. I mean, from Monday to Sunday, shit is going down. You have cover bands. It's like 4 hours. Oh, basically, wow. It's just like down the highway. I just shot a music video last year over there with some guys with a Vincent band. They're like hard rock, heavy rock kind of thing. So that was fun to revisit. Awesome. Well,
yeah. So I'm going
back. That sounds like a plan. That's really cool. I mean,
as long as everything, yeah.
Exactly. Borders open and all.
So they're not open right. So they're not open right now. You can't go from Germany to Poland.
No, well, within the European Union, of course, they're open throughout. Basically, tests on the drive-in, tests on the drive-out. They're figuring out literally like now as we speak, with the situation with the green passport. Basically, let's get the world back. Let's get the economy back. Let's let people work, like us in the industry, cruise, and all other industries. Basically, between the United States, still we don't have like full-on 100% touristic kind of visa. I mean, of course, if you're in a way employed or touring, though that is not happening either. Everything is still local. The funny thing is Europe is basically, and United States is like Europe, and vice versa, with the state policies, and everything being kind of separate. It's like Europe slapped all over the continent, and then kind of the decisions go down. So
hopefully by then we'll know, because we're supposed to get tickets, at some point, and then and then get over there, but hopefully that'll happen, because that's last time I toured there, it was amazing. We had such a good time.
That's glad to hear. That's awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was, as you said, it used to be poor 30, maybe 40 years back, but only because Poland, funny enough, happens to be a country that was a kingdom, then was dismantled, then happened to be railed over with all possible countries in wars and just be taken apart. So, we kind of weren't lucky on that end. But we are fucking survivors. We're like cockroaches, in rock and roll.
That's what's funny about it, is that people said that, oh yeah, well, it's very poor. I went there, and let me tell you something. There was not only amazing, but there were areas that looked nicer than some parts of the U.S. And I was like, what are these people talking about? These guys don't know what they're talking about. Like, everything,
misconceptions and stereotypes. People don't
way
know.
More.
People have no idea, right?
It's way more updated and modern now. And also, the one thing though that still stayed the same, that I was all about it, was I got a 5-course meal, like when everything, you name it. I don't even drink anymore, but I bought wine for everybody else, appetizers. It was like $30 with
I know,
over
right?
here, over here it would be like 100. Like you could the money goes a long way over there. That's the one thing too. Like you could like live like a king with like $1,000 a week in Poland.
It's all a question of management, you know. You can live like a king wherever if you're lucky enough. Though I gotta tell you, like, funny when you say $30. I remember the most expensive freaking coffee, and I'm a coffee addict. It's like it's a part of my life. It's a part of rock and roll. And I swear to God, I had to buy a Starbucks like in Zurich at the airport, and it was like $7.99. It's which is an equivalent in euros for like $40 or more. And I go like, oh Jesus Christ! I'm spending my tour money. I just worked here. I just gigged here, and it's just down the drain.
That's crazy.
Oh,
but it was amazing. It was an amazing experience, and I can't wait to go back and
sweet.
I always tell people, they're like, what favorite places to play? And I always say Poland. Poland was, they went nuts. They were dancing on the tables. It was like a Monday night too. It was like a Monday or Tuesday. It was crazy.
That's Wrocław. That's exactly the city. Funny that you mentioned that, since that's a conversation opener. Were you there with Dead by Wednesday, by the way, or another?
No, I was with the Earth, Black Sabbath.
Okay,
tribute.
with Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
nice.
And it said that's how we got our name. When we went over to Europe, they started calling us Black Sabbath USA.
Like really?
The name is Earth. That was their original name when they first came out, Earth.
Right.
So they started saying Earth, Black Sabbath USA. And now that's how we're known over there. You know, it's funny.
Okay. Well, for a fan club, probably it sticks, you know, because Hungary might as well can have a cover band as well, you know, or even Poland. And then you got to kind of differentiate, though.
Well, they're from the UK. They're from the UK originally. So
yeah.
So that's why they were Black Earth USA instead of, you know,
that's not a bad nickname to be a Black Sabbath of USA. I mean, not everybody jumps to be a Geezer Butler, right? Or an Ozzy Osbourne. Like, that's huge shoes to fill. Like, you got to know what you're doing. So,
well, they're you know, they're just to me, they're one of the major players and like one of the originators of heavy metal. And like without Black Sabbath, there'd be no Metallica, there'd be no Van Halen, there'd be no Pantera. I mean, these are bands that, you know,
Motley Crue, you know, like all of the directions basically is someone had to be insane enough to do what Ozzy did with Sabbath, live through it a couple of times, have someone like Sharon on the management side, and just even as a heart kind of caring about a person, like, don't die now, don't overdose, like you got something here. I mean, we got to elevate it to the next level and just keep that. And however, you know, people say all the time, they criticize Sharon. It's like, I love Sharon. My God, it's just like, she's a blabbermouth, she's a yap, but it's like, please don't shut up, because most of the time she's right.
and without her, he wouldn't have had any success.
No, exactly. You know? So sometimes it always takes that other person that is always either hovering or being in your face, arrogant. Mm-hmm. Because you have to, because they know that they're outside. If you are someone like Ozzy, to me personally at least, you're lost. Like half of the time he walks around his kitchen, he doesn't know which planet he's on, poor thing. And then, you know, he comes out and he's the Prince of Darkness, and then
let me hear you.
Let me hear you.
Yeah.
So, you know, God bless him. My God, God bless him.
Yeah, he's like,
he comes back with the solo stuff and everything else. You know, he's like providing. He's
like this weird stepfather to all of us, right? Like a godfather or something to everybody.
Bit, yeah. This awkward kind of family member that you want to have around, but no one understands what he's saying, but he doesn't have to say. It's enough if he does his art and, you know, all that. So, that's so true.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been, you know, we have a bunch of, anyway, back to the news with you for Dead by Wednesday. So we are announcing it. We haven't even announced this yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it not just a video shoot. It's going to be, it's going to be interactive, where people are going to help us create the video. And what's going to happen is we're going to do a live video shoot on July 29th. It's a Thursday. And we have the
my
biggest
mom's birthday. That's funny.
Nice. We have the biggest venue in Connecticut already locked in. And it's a private event. It's not going to be open to the public. It's going to be limited to 75 people. Once the 75 tickets are sold, it's over. And what happens is at the end of the video shoot, you get a private show. At the end, you get your name in the credits. You get to be in the video. You get the free link to see the video before anyone else. You get a link to download the new song before anybody else. We're gonna have free pizza. It's gonna be amazing.
What happened?
So basically, it's gonna be a video shoot with Tom Flynn, who's an amazing director, and we're gonna be doing it at this legendary venue, Toad's Place in New Haven, Connecticut, on Thursday, July 29th. It's going to be a private video shoot / show. And you're going to get all this stuff out of it. And it's
all of the perks. I mean, that sounds like the most perk friendly for the audience that you can ever do. I mean, it's like full included. What is the ticket, like $1,000 or what? Is that the catch?
No, it's only $25.
There you go. Awesome.
We're keeping it low. We're just trying to help, that's not even getting close to covering the cost of what it's going to take us to do the video, but it's just helping us. It's like being interactive. It's almost like you're getting stuff for that, and you're helping us along the way as well. So that's kind of what it's a creative way of shooting a video. Instead of just being like, oh yeah, please come. No, you're getting a private show at a legendary venue. You're going to be in the video. You're going to see the video before anyone else. You're going to get the new song before anyone else. Your name's going to be in the credits. I can go on and on and on. So it's going to be a great time.
Sounds exciting. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, and no one's ever really done it this way. We're trying something new, and almost like it's a fun way of doing like a GoFundMe without doing a GoFundMe. It's more of like just like a private show, basically, but a video shoot,
Well, here's the thing. Basically, like the last years, because of course, substantially, the whole business, the market has changed, right? I mean, the days of billion-dollar contracts and record deals are obviously over, right? I mean, I come from the world of basically physical theater and dance and choreography and stage and what have you. Funny music on the practical side of playing, meaning guitar and bass, has been the last kind of element that started a whole chapter that has been always there for me. But right now I'm kind of like living the coolest life because I'm exactly where I should have been always at. But with that said, I did notice that basically right now what is happening amongst us in rock or in metal, doesn't matter how you name that, it's this kind of collaborative, supportive kind of way that if we want to carry on the torch for the next generation and keep this fire running, we kind of, number one, have to be self-sustainable. Number two, we need to find new ways to reinvent and engage all of each other. And that's one of the things that I find beautiful, seeing people in the creative arts that I also, as rock dance theater, always try to break the boundaries between. It's like I fuse physical theater and contemporary choreography with rock and metal and bass playing and guitar playing, depending on the project, and fashion and outdoors and indoors and whatever. So it's like it's a hybrid. So basically, that's exactly, even now in the long stretch, I think, at least. I don't know what's your opinion about that, Opus. By the way, do you go by Christian or Opus most? So that I don't.
It's a funny thing that you say that. So
that's what I see on the screen, at least. As
I didn't give myself that name. It was a nickname that was given to me at a very young age. Even my mother calls me that. It's funny. But the few people that don't, there's only a couple people that call me Christian, and that's my real name, and I like that name. It's funny. It worked out in my advantage later on, because when I was calling clubs, as Christian Lawrence, the agent, and then I would show up as Opus, the drummer. So it actually worked out.
The times that we all done that, right? Like, hello, this is the manager of speaking.
But it's just funny. It just happened, It wasn't. There's a story behind it, but it's a long story. It's just it started off as an insult, but it became something that I actually used to my advantage, and it worked out great, and people remembered it. It's like almost like Ozzy, like Opus, one word, you know.
Well, Opus Dei, that's number one, very religious, very musical on the classical side of things. So it's kind of, you know, it speaks of something, definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's so. But you can call me whatever you want. Just call me. I don't care. Christian, Opus, doesn't
Bob.
matter. that I don't know about. Bob.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna say about that. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's basically what I'm doing now with Dead by Wednesday, and we have a new album. We have the video shoot, and we have some select shows where we're doing at the end of this month. We're actually going out to Florida, and we're doing 3 shows with amazing band. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they're a band from Puerto Rico. They're a Latin metal band that used to be on MCA. They toured Ozfest. They did everything under the sun. I don't know if they've really did much in Europe back in the day, but they're called PUYA, and they're Latin metal.
I know of the name, but I haven't ever seen them on a bill in Europe, I gotta say. And I try to keep track, and I don't think
they're amazing. They're heavy metal with salsa.
Oh my God.
It's amazing, and one of my favorite bands. And I actually
everything is on 1, 2, 3, right? I'm not a Latino dancer by any means, but when I was 18, first years in Austria, moving out, it was easy money just to kind of do simple stuff for fun.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's
interesting.
It's very like very original, and they took a hiatus for a while, and now they're back, all original members. I'm helping booking them, and
I just wanted to ask, Christian, because not all of people tuning in here, and also I didn't know that you're actually an entrepreneur to the extent that you have your own booking and management company that you also run on the other side of the spectrum. That's awesome. Let me pick your brains a little bit with that. Has that always been the deal? Like, hello, this is Opus. I want to book myself as someone else.
Well, that's how it started. It started out of necessity. It started out like anyone else. It started out of necessity. You know, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself.
Do it yourself,
and any agent that I ever got in to try to help me never did as good as myself. So unless it's someone who's super connected or super big who can do a lot more than I can, it's been a struggle finding someone who can do better than I can. So I've always been the guy doing it for all the projects that I've been involved in since the beginning of time. I booked my first show at age 13, and I've been doing it ever since. So what happened was, once I had all those connections, I started doing it for a lot of other people.
And it worked. It was kind of functional and getting somewhere. And because there's nothing worse, I think, putting in the effort and then having, no outcome, basically.
Right.
I mean, you just bang your head against the wall, right?
Well, that happens a lot too, but you know, perseverance and persistence pays off. You know, you have to always keep it at it, or otherwise, if you give up, then that's it. So I started doing it more of a promotional company, like a booking and promotion. And then recently, a buddy of mine who works at a company called Von Artist, they're a distribution company. He was a fan of my old band. He actually said, listen, anything that you want to put out, whether it's new stuff or your back catalog, we could put it through Sony Orchard, which is a big deal.
Not a small one, that's for sure.
Yeah. So they basically gave me a green, a ticket, an open-ended ticket to do whatever I want to do. And we haven't done anything yet, but I'm going to be doing, I just got the rights back to the last 2 Dead by Wednesday albums, and we're going to be re-releasing them through Von Artist Sony Orchard in the near future. So the self-titled and the guest vocalist album, Darkest of Angels, which were both on EMP and Combat, are both going to be coming reissued through Von Artist and Sony Orchard through my company, Mindsnap Music. So,
Mindsnap, that's a cool name, by the way. When you send me the bio, that's a fun one, like Mindsnap.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, to be honest, that's a lot of territory to cover with re-releases or basically albums or singles or even demos that kind of either got sold, got forgotten, are not wanted anymore, license ran out, like all of that, right? All of a sudden that you cannot find on digital outlets at all. And for one thing, that's awesome because someone can pay a lot of money. For others, it's just something, that kind of disappears, amongst so many creators. I mean, even, my God, the last year, the amount of work that has came out, starting from music videos and quarantine jams and books and albums and just like
covers and
whatever, right?
Yeah.
Music videos or animated ones. We also did one with Supreme Unbeing. I mean, you probably know the guys also that are on EMP label. They did such a funny thing because they threw me in as an animated character with Rock Dance Theater. So they took the moves and the Hungarian graphic artist did this like extended version of like a comic metal kind of chick. That was a cool one. That was fun to watch. To see,
that was good.
Through his eye. Yeah.
That was good.
So,
but I got to tell you something. Being that you're a dancer, I used to be awesome at breakdancing. I was a breakdancer. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, you can break a limb, that I can tell you.
Yes.
Contemporary dance and physical dance and physical theater has a lot of floor work. So anyone, guys, that knows my work, they can tell you. And if we ever get to jam like you on the drum kit and me doing my stuff, that's a neck breaker. I mean, kids, don't try that at home if you're not sober, not warmed up, or haven't done it for the last 20 years that I have.
Well,
like,
I haven't done it in a long time, and I thought I could still. And I went to go do one of those breakdance swirls on the ground, and I broke my little pinky toe.
Oh, no way.
It came out. Yeah, it was like I was joking around. I was just having fun, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
It's just a small toe. Well, in biomechanics, technically, it does not bear any weight, but it's there for a purpose still. Yes. So, oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that was rough. But I used to be able to do everything, the windmill and everything. I just couldn't spit on my head.
Right. That's a different kind of thing. It's like PUYA is basically on ice. You have that momentum, and you got to be really like in the axis line. My God, it's like, what can I compare it to on, I don't know, playing bass? Because since recently I'm a fascinated, passionate bass player.
Nice.
Well, bending on bass is just like, my God, you got to keep it in tune. You got to bring it down. You got to stay on the fret. Like, what the hell? It's not easy. That's why professionals do it. And we are
I'll break my neck. No, thank you. I'll break my. Not doing that stuff anymore.
Well, in any case, if you ever wanted to come back, there's always training and programs for body management. We got you covered.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know, man. I don't know. My drumming's too important for me.
I can imagine that. Speaking of, what was first, breakdancing or drum kit? Like, how does a guy end up on a drum kit? Just like banging the crap out of buckets at home and making noise for parents, or what happened?
Well, it's funny you ask. So I saw Kiss, and I was like, I want to do this. I started getting pots and pans and beating on the pots and pans outside of my grandmother's house, putting on the show for people driving by in the street. And then I asked my mother to buy a drum set. They said, hell no, you're not playing drums. And
are you surprised? Number one, it makes noise and takes a lot of space at home.
Yeah. And then I was upset. And then they said, well, why don't you try the cello? And I absolutely hated it. I broke the cello every week. And I didn't do it. And then finally, I saw a really piece of crap drum set on the side of the road at a tag sale. And I saved up all my money from the paper route that I was doing a paper route where I would deliver papers to people and make like 50 cents on a dollar or whatever. And the thing was, the drum set was only like $30 or something. And I borrowed. Yeah, all I had was like $20-something, and I borrowed the rest from my older brother. I bought the drum set on my own. I brought it home. It was a piece of crap, and I set it up as best as I could. I was absolutely horrible, and I would just beat on it every single day and annoy the crap out of everybody. And I would just like play along to like Shout Out the Devil. And I would, or like, even like Bryan Adams and some really like just whatever was on. And I taught myself. And then after I taught myself, I took lessons for about a year to learn like the basics and to see what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong. And then from there,
Clear
just
out the
yeah,
slate from kind of bad, right?
yeah. And then from there, the rest was history. And I would just constantly play, and I would play when my parents would go out, so when they would leave the house, and I would annoy the crap out of my neighbors and just beat on my drums all the time. And and I gotta say that the one thing I always tell people about that, starting at a young age, is that if you have a goal and you have a focus when you're young, it actually helps you stay out of trouble and do what people always like. Oh, rock and roll, you do drugs and all that stuff. And I got to be honest, like
Not
that
all of us
actually,
do. That's the
no,
thing.
it actually helped me not do it because I had a goal early at a young age. Like while all my friends were in high school smoking crack, I was in my room practicing my drums. I wasn't
Exactly.
doing that. I knew what I
That's an
wanted.
awesome bumper sticker. That's funny that you say that because this is what we also have in common because I started very early in my career. I did my first monodram debut solo when I was like 11. I had no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but I had something to say. And same thing. I mean, I remember gym class. My God, like kids 6 and 7 years old, I was already, I was good in sports. I relatively was running fast and like kind of gymnastics and like more girly stuff than playing with balls and stuff. And they were hardcorely drinking out of their backpacks. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? It's just like, dude, don't you have anything else to do? So my discourse always was kind of thinking, okay, their problematics was I'm not getting allowance from my mom to buy beer and go out. And I was thinking like, how the fuck do I apply for subsidies for my next production? And it's just like, there was no
Exactly.
platform of communication, So like exactly as you say, best bumper sticker for all of you young rockers out there listening. Yeah, keeps you out of trouble. Find a passion and live,
Yeah, I think that if you have a goal early on in life that you want to do something and you stick to it and that you actually like enjoy doing it, it'll actually guide you and help you stay out of trouble. And I think that if I didn't have a goal or a purpose in life, I don't know where I would be. I might be dead from who knows. I mean, like
by Wednesday.
a lot of my friends are, a lot of my friends I grew up with, if you look at them compared to how I look or you see them now, if they're even still alive, it's not good, and I learned how to manage things like hyperactivity and anxiety. I play drums, I work out, I do things that help me, martial arts. I do things that kind of keep me focused and able to perform and play, especially at an older age compared to I have to play competing with kids that are half my age. So I'm playing just as hard.
Have you seen 4-year-olds in Asia playing?
Oh yeah.
I don't know, Keith Moon, let's say on drums. Like, come on, it's like we don't stand a chance as adults. Number one, but So what's let's say your path for longevity, Christian? Like because as we know, let's say professionals, it's a workout in itself to play bass, play drums, be a professional choreographer, rocker, what have you. But what's your kind of method to go around your health, meaning working out? Is that yoga, herb tea, drum kit stretching, or something that you don't want to disclose because it freaking works? No, you pay $1 million for someone coaching.
No, at this point, I play with a little bit of pain here and there because that's just inevitable from wear and tear over the years. It's like repetitive motion over and over again. But I do things to counterbalance that. So I definitely do yoga. At least 2 to 3 times a week. I also get a deep tissue massage, a real legitimate massage, at least once every 3 to 4 weeks. I go to the chiropractor twice a week. I do all sorts of, cardio. So I'm always doing things to try to better myself. So that way I am able to keep my wind up, play faster, play longer, not be as sore afterwards. I don't take any medicine. I don't take any pills. I stopped drinking and taking pills for anything. I'm talking about not even aspirin unless I absolutely need it.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago, I absolutely stopped everything. I don't even drink. I don't even drink recreational anymore. Nothing. I keep it.
That's also one of the things, right? Like as you said earlier, too many people from our community have died because of drugs, because of just stupidity. It's just unnecessary. I mean, come on, they could all be alive and rocking, right? But
I mean, alcohol is
especially
poison.
It is, and the one thing that I even tell young guys, in workshops and in master classes, whatever, performing, management kind of thing. If you want to be a professional, some things do not work. I mean, fucking, me being connected with my body my whole life and kind of starting with that, even now jumping on an instrument, I know I'm also a non-drinker because I just decided to at age 19, it doesn't work for me, because I don't know about you, Christian, but I do feel my every single cell and my joint being poisoned. It's just like, oh my God,
and you feel
hangover is this deconstructive moment of your body where you're full of toxins, you're full of dead cells, ripped ligaments, and you don't feel it because it has to be flushed out. But ooh la la, you don't want to know the physiology of that. It's nasty.
And I was tired. I was tired of feeling like crap. And honestly, I had some health issues that I turned around, and I'm actually healthier now than I ever was. And it was something that I had to realize. As soon as you realize that your livelihood can be at risk, that's when you're like, okay, what am I doing here? Like, this isn't working for me. And listen, to each their own. I don't preach.
Of course. Same thing. It's like, do whatever works for you. I could not care less if you're dead drunk next to me. I'm not a preacher kind of guy. Like, I could not care less. It just bugs me when shit gets ruined, when people don't arrive at a show, they don't deliver, people pay for basically. We are in the entertainment
I don't want to have to
business,
deal with it.
And then gear gets destroyed. We all know the stories, right? So
it's like do what you want to do as long as it doesn't affect me, right?
Right. Like I don't want to deal with it. But when a drum kit gets ripped or an amp gets beer inside, that is just, oh my God, really? Is it worth it? So
and I'm not into that stuff.
Not necessarily.
It used to be cool, and now it's like, what's cool? Playing your instrument well and putting on a good show for people. That's cool.
It gives satisfaction for sure. I mean, it's a completely different level of, I don't want to say satisfaction because that's kind of egocentric, but all of us kind of in arts is ego-centered in the sense it's our language to communicate. It's what we got to do because it's in our DNA, I would imagine. Hearing even you the last 40 minutes, you're just like pouring. That's why I love to have people like you on to have this kind of chat and kind of figure out that, we are on a similar page, just coming from different, angles, but it only kind of proves that it's not about being right, but what works, what is functional, what kind of makes sense. And especially the element about health, I would be remiss if to say that, of course, even right now, the mental health side of things, it's something that touches us more than others, because as far as badass we are in rock and roll, we are more sensitive and prone to getting hit by all kinds of things, because that's how we operate. That's why we create art and not our computer workers at a corporation. Nothing bad about working in front of a computer if someone found their way, but in that sense it's kind of way more complex than many people would imagine. And anyone, you say you manage, you want to put out certain things, you want to reprint or redirect things into the spotlight from the past again, but it's always the young generation and the previous generation kind of watching and witnessing. But what I think they could take out of that is how to kind of do it smart and thrive and kind of be happy where you're at, because it will be hard. Like anyone that goes into arts is a fucking masochist. period.
I
So,
mean,
you know,
yeah, I mean, you know, and honestly, now it's all about
yet look how happy we are. We're smiling when we say that.
it's all about being independent nowadays too. Really, especially for rock and metal. I mean, yeah, if you're you know 13 and playing pop music, maybe you'll find a big deal and and have
Quicker.
someone fund you with actual backing. But nowadays, you got to take it into your own hands and you got to build your own empire, you know?
Speaking of freelance, I'm very happy, Christian, that you said that word, because a lot of creators, myself included, consider ourselves as freelancers, being, you know, our own kind of artistic director head, open to working with anyone and everyone, in the sense of not necessarily, you know, punching a card in the same frame of only one band, only one theater, only one institution, or ways to do things. How would you say the world now is going to come back? And I ask everybody that I talk to, how do you think the world is going to come back for freelancers, for people that don't necessarily have a budget like Kiss, or have not been established enough to not be hit by this, though we've all been affected equally, you know, big and small?
Honestly, I'm not too sure as far as like shows go. I think there's going to be
anything like that. Okay. Having that as your main gig aside of a gazillion other endeavors.
Right. Well, I'll tell you how I feel about how the pandemic's going to affect live shows, because I've already seen it happening, and I'll be completely blunt and honest with you about it.
Please, it's a rock dance theater show. It's all raw and authentic, and it's
gonna be split down the middle. It's gonna be a middle road. Now it's gonna be like this. One side is going to be so eager for live music because they haven't had it in so long that those people are going to go to every show. They're going to be hungry for music. They're going to be super enthusiastic, and they're going to want to basically go do all the shows. On the other hand, there's going to be a whole side of people who are going to use it as an excuse to not go out. They're going to say, well, you know, I haven't done anything. They didn't want to go out in the first place. They already had excuses before the pandemic, and now they're going to use the pandemic as an easy way out, basically, to sit on their couch. So it's going to basically separate the boys from the men, and the people that want
to, the girls from the real women.
Exactly. And the people that want, and the people that want to go are going to go, and they're going to be even more eager to go out, and more, and there'll be a lot more people that are like that. And then the ones that are like already like, lazy, you got to beg them to go out. And you're like, well, why don't you come to my show? They're going to be like, you know, I don't feel good. And it's not smart for me to go if I'm sick. And they're going to have a legitimate reason to not want to not go out. So it's going to basically split everything down the middle, and the people that actually want to be there will be there, and the ones that don't, whatever, you know.
It's funny that you say that. I mean, partly I agree, because it's like, you know, percentage against percentage, right? Like we observed that since the beginning of time, basically. People believing in the moon and thinking it's, you know, a deadly being, or, you know, the vaccine or science or what have you. People are always people, and they act from what they think is a truth. And it's very hard to change their mind giving anything on a silver platter. And it's not about giving anything on a silver platter, because even, you know, the idea of being lazy, and I think between you and me, there's nobody lazy in this room or your room, because I don't even know the word, or lazy or bored. But even in times pre-pandemic, it's been known to happen that even, hey, it's raining outside, maybe I'm gonna sit in and watch a movie. It's like, because it's available, it's there. It's like Breslau 2000. It's basically Monday through Sunday. And that, I gotta tell you, as awesome as the community is, and people are really like digging it, and they go wild, and they're hungry for it, that's just like European kind of way to take everything in. People at the same time are spoiled, and they don't appreciate everything that is handed to them. I think,
especially in the U.S. I hate to say it, but you know,
it's both. You know, like Europe, Europe has educated the U.S. early on,
Yeah, it's starting to seep in over there where the same kind of vibe where I'm not, like, maybe I'll go watch a movie instead. But at the same time, the enthusiasm that I personally saw on my last European tour, and the hungriness, the eagerness in certain places for music, they're like thanking us for going there.
Yeah.
And being super appreciative,
and being honestly appreciative. Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
And then here in America, it's like they see there's so many shows all the time that they're like they take it for granted. It's like, there's so much happening all the time, so much things.
It's like everything, it's even if you compare to brands of coffee. I mean, what, you go to a coffee shop and you have a gazillion choice. Like back in the day where I come from, pen and paper, 80s and 90s, there used to be one choice, like the ultimate choice, and you would appreciate that you had it. Right now,
Right.
in the era where everybody is spoiled, everything is accessible and so on and so forth, I think we have an extra job right now to kind of not only validate our position in society, number one, validate why culture and arts is important. I mean, it's not like a mission is like, oh, culture has to live. No, it has always been there since the beginning of time, even in ancient times. So now it's only a question of, showing people that, hey, it looks easy and fun in games. Duh, because we are professionals, because behind your career or my career, there's 20, 30 years of slaving to the grind, and people don't realize that. I bring that up always in my conversation and in my chats because, guys, you got to spend time on it. That's why it looks, it sounds, and it feels like it does. Yet, there's a lot of dark and blood, sweat, and tears, which ironically is the motto of my 4th birthday of Rock Dance Theater this year. I'm doing a series of live stream, blood, sweat, and tears.
Cool. I mean, honestly, for me, it's been a roller coaster ride. I tell people it's like a ladder. You go up and you're down, and you're up and you're down and you're up. There's never, even when you're up and you're huge, you still have to maintain that, and it's so hard to stay there. You have to. You always got to
your mind, even as a mindset, because you can be on top of the mountain, on top of the heap. Even one day, one moment in time in history can change everything. And we're not going to mention any situations or names. It can appear as quick as it can go away. So
exactly. Absolutely. That's a big part of, I mean, like I said, at one point in my career, I played Woodstock 99 in front of a sea of people opening for Limp Bizkit. I was on a movie with James Franco on VH1. I was on all over the radio. Then the era changed and that style of music went away.
2000. I remember 98 and 99. Those were normal festival times. Do you remember per diems? You remember getting per diems?
Yeah, per diems. Yeah,
that was a cool life.
And so I had to rebuild myself again from the start. Yeah. And there was no backing, and there was no big wig labels, and then and Lars Ulrich from Metallica was right with Napster and all that stuff just sort of diluted music and ruined it. And now we're trying to pick up the pieces and make a career out of different ways of doing things. And I'm happy being. I tell people all the time, I don't need to be famous. If it happens organically, cool. I've done a lot of stuff. I've already done what I need to do. I'm happy being respected as a well-rounded musician, songwriter, drummer, and leaving a legacy for my son. And if I make a living doing what I love, that's all I can add. That's success to me. That's success, making a living.
That's being lucky and blessed at the same time, because not all people get to do what we can do in the sense of mind, the grunt and the effort of it, of course. But at the same time, it's a road that not all people can experience and have and leave something behind. And as you said, when you're satisfied and happy in the process of kind of the buckets, if you will, that's awesome. I mean, what else can you ask for? Just like doing stuff bigger and better. That's my philosophy, because like more is more. Funny, because you probably know this weird saying that less is more. In a way,
I use that all the time.
even your background kind of says that right now. Just simple white T-shirt on a black metal couch. It's just kind of a perfect image. Yet, in the words of Yngwie Malmsteen, my fellow Swede, more is more. It's like he explains it. It's unlogical. How can less be more? It's like, what the fuck? I love that.
I love the term less is more. And the reason why I love that term is because our band, Dead by Wednesday, is based off of that ideology. And the reason why I say that
4-piece to begin with, like only for guys, essentially.
Yeah. So now you know. So instead of like, you know, my old band was like a percussion player, keyboard, 2 guitar players, bass player, drummer, singer, DJ, and it was like a mess.
Slipknot, basically a Slipknot lineup.
Yeah. How do you mix that? How do you mix? But when you bring it down, like to the bands that I listened to, that were eternal, like Zeppelin, Sabbath, Pantera, Van Halen, 1 guitar player, 1 bass player.
Yeah, and they had to make it work. Come on, the Beatles. Come on. It's like
one singer, a drummer, and you use the instruments you have, less is more attitude, and you make it sound big, and you make it full, and no backing tracks or tricks or gimmicks or vocal tuners or click tracks. No. You play your instrument and you do as much as you can with as little as you have. And then
you unplug it to check if it's still functioning and works and brings the message across.
and that's kind of what I use that term all the time. It's funny that you say that less is more. You know, a lot of those terms.
Well, it's another. It kind of came to me. I have no idea why, but the other side of the spectrum, like I'm the best example. My God, if you saw a Rock Dance Theater show, like number one, I dress like a fucking Christmas tree, and I'm only one woman to begin with. Then when whoever partners up with me, I have a duet only with a drummer. I have a piece that is like a 3-piece or a quartet or just a duet. It's just like fucking, it has to be full. It's a 3D experience. I take my audience by the throat and bring them into my reality, my story, and it's supposed to do that to them. And then spit them out and just like kind of leave like, what the hell just happened? But at the same time, of course, you choose the tools to do that, and you choose them smartly, predicting as much as you can which kind of effect that you want to trigger or what you want to say really and with what. So it's like, to be honest, you're a drummer, but it's like Eddie Van Halen. I mean, I need to just chip it up and like rip out the frets and like throw in a pick that does not work and should not work, but I hear something in my head, so I gotta like make it happen. I'm just like freaking figuring out like a kid how to do it with, well, a stick and a chisel or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then that in the creativity, I love as well, just like taking risk and not giving a damn about the process, because it's the process that takes you there. How is your process with Dead by Wednesday, for example, because the cover band, like, let's say it's a different organism, right?
Well, this whole band was based off of that idea that, you know, we don't follow the same formulas or trends that other people do, and we don't give a shit what people think. Who
started the band? I normally don't do a background check on it because it's exciting for me to learn and discover from the person. Was it you? Was it Dave Sharp? Like who founded that?
The rhythm section is the founding members, the foundation of the band. Me and the bass player Mike Modest. Okay. He's the only original member besides myself that started Dead by Wednesday, and I always tell people the foundation, the rhythm section, is basically of any band is the core, and the vocals and the guitar playing are like the icing on the cake that creates the melodies.
True. Very true. Try to take drums or bass away, and you definitely know something is missing.
Yeah, and not to discredit them, they're
not at all.
Very, very important. But like the singer's the face of the band, and the melodies create the vibe of the music, and that can make or break a song.
Not only, I mean, the aforementioned Keith Moon, even, sorry to interrupt, he was the headliner for me. He was the front guy. Yeah. I mean, even if not on stage, my God, the stuff that he used to do in the Hollywood Vampire times is just, he would dress up every single day as somebody else. I don't know if you know the stories. Like Alice Cooper
He's
tells them
awesome.
all the time. Oh my God, that's just like
And
ridiculous.
I mean, there's other drummers like that for me too, like Dave Lombardo.
Yeah.
Some of my heroes, Stuart Copeland from the Police, and John Bonham, and Vinnie Paul, and so many awesome drummers that I respect. Even Tommy Lee. I mean, he's without Tommy Lee, Motley Crue is
Would not be
know,
it. Of course. Yeah.
exactly.
Tommy is the most physical player, crazy, like
Yeah.
it's funny because to me, his physiognomy, like, and why I talk about physiognomy, because I happen to be on the other side of the spectrum, meaning I'm in medicine. I treat people like us as a chiro and as a physio and performing arts. To me, it's not a drummer's body. Ideally, his limbs are very long. He's very skinny. He doesn't have the mass necessarily to execute everything. Yet he makes it work. That's the drive kind of comes from a different place. And speaking of drive, of course, it's equipment, it's technique, it's kind of your influences. But what is the drum drive for you in the sense of, is it your feet? Is it your pelvis? Is it your spine alignment? Is it just like the moment that you sit and you're kind of ready to attack? Like, what would you name?
I think
if it's possible.
My strong points are my hands. Like my feet came second. I'm fast, but I'm not as fast as some of these like young bucks out there that just
let's leave that to the side. Those are hybrids. It's like
they do like that whole like trick swivel technique and all that stuff. I'm old school. Yeah. I learned from Dave Lombardo and Bonham, and I don't cheat. I'm not a cheater. I don't do chop suey. I actually do like, the every note I play. And so I learned early on that my hands are the strong points. I do a lot of hand techniques, and my feet are strong too, but my hands are way stronger than anything. As far as that, you mentioned before, that the process for writing for Dead by Wednesday, we have a whole plethora of different ways. We don't actually limit it or any creativity whatsoever, which is something that I learned from my last band, because a lot of guys in the last band they would stifle creativity too soon. Like, no, I don't like it. No, or whatever. With this band, we try everything. We might not like it at first, but then at the end, you never know. You might end up being your favorite song. So sometimes people come in with full songs done and we try it. Sometimes they come in with just some riffs and we put it together. Sometimes we write in the room all together. So there's all different ways that we do the process. It's not just one
open
for us,
basically. You don't stay married to like an idea. If someone brings something in, you're kind of laying it out. Right. Let's see if it works, if it's fun, if it catches, if it gets people excited and so on. I think openness is super important like that. And I always dig that because I know what it means being married to an idea and being precious because, it's so cool in your head, or, you cannot judge it because you're subjective. You can never really look at it. Is it good or not? Or what does it mean something being good and so on? Only the guys in the room can kind of tell you by, even if it moves the body already, like, okay, we're onto something here,
Exactly. It makes you bob your head. Like, gives you that backbeat.
Yeah. I mean, for me, any song you would slap on, even something that I've never heard, something that is as raw as, I don't know, meat in a kitchen. It's like, if it starts, the hair pop up, and like, if I'm in the mood and my body reacts to that, that's to me already a category: good, bad, functional, not. Period. I mean, Miles Davis used to say that there's only good and bad music. Everything else is taste. So, like, who cares at the end of the day?
That's true. I mean, there's so many, because there's things we don't really that's what I meant by like following trends. We don't really go by like what's out right now or what's hot or we just do what we do. And
have you seen the Eurovision, by the way? Which I haven't watched. I've just seen who won.
No.
So I cannot tell much.
If we like it, if we like it, that's all that matters. If that's the most important thing, we have to like it, and then everyone else comes after.
Word. That's another cool bumper sticker to like wrap up a full hour. Which, by the way, guys, if you are just joining us, Christopher F. Lawrence, Dead by Wednesday, among others. My God, so many other bands, Altitudes and Attitude, cover band Earth for Black Sabbath, management company, entrepreneur, which is the people that we like to hang out most with. So if you're joining just now, you missed quite a bit of stuff that Christian is going to tell us now.
I got a book coming out too, actually, an autobiography. It's going to be coming out this year. It's actually I have a ghostwriter who did Chuck from Faith No More's book, Doug Esper. He's part of the whole EMP family, and he's been helping me. And there's some really amazing stories in there, stories that you would want to read. Some from some of the big cats that I play with as well, who actually did some interviews for me, like Bumblefoot and Ellefson and some other great guys that did some really cool stories for me in there.
That already sounds exciting, because that's the best bunch of people, not only warm-hearted people, but also like coolest freaking artists like in the world. So
yes,
nice.
I agree.
Is it already on like a publishing list for a date? Release and all that?
We haven't got there yet. It's right now. It's being proofread. It's being edited. It's in the editing stages, but it's done. So we're almost there. We're almost there.
Hopefully 5 steps soon. From hopefully soon. That's the ultimate saying that we try to stick to.
It's going to be called. Awesome. It's going to be called one of our song titles, which is about never giving up and never giving in. And it's called, the book's going to be called Break When I'm Dead. That's the name of the book. Break When I'm Dead. And
I like it.
Yeah. And it kind of like emphasizes and puts everything of my whole life into like a one sentence.
If that's even possible. My God. Like literally from last week, I was sending a bio for a show that will hopefully happen in 4 weeks at a fantasy fair over here in Warsaw with my new Rebel Crush project. And the guy was like, please edit the shit. It's like fucking 4 pages. I don't want to leave anything out that is important to you. And I go, oh, Lord. Okay, I got this.
That's hard to do.
When you say do that in one sentence to describe your life, it's like, whoo.
That is.
Nice co-writer. Nice co-author there.
Break When I'm Dead. That's what it says.
Sweet. Awesome. We're gonna keep that in mind and post it, of course, when stuff goes out. We're gonna tag the crap out of it so that we can direct guys over to you, so that it feeds through Let's Rock Live with Anna, which is now on Bandcamp, guys. So hopefully you can get our conversation in your own digital form for €1.10 on this Friday. Let's see. Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome.
Awesome, Christian. Well, basically, I don't want to. This is so much fun to chat with you.
There's so much more. There's so much more.
Of course, we just kind of glided on top, and part 2 or 3 for sure we could do. And you're always welcome to come back when stuff gets released, and we know where we are at with everything. That'll be really cool. So I think that's the best way. Break me when I'm dead to wrap this thing up. I mean.
Thank you.
No more comments, right? So, guys, my awesome guest has been Christian F. Lawrence. Please hit all of the subs, all of the follows and likes. Oh, and comments that I see we had. So we did have people. There is life on the other side, which is super awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for the support. And we will check back with you later. Opus, thanks, I'm going to just wrap everything up here. And please don't go. I'm going to say the official goodbye to you in the green room.
Okay. Thank you, Anna.
Peace. All right, guys. So that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking in. Our next episode is going to be with a very exciting guest. And also, we do have No More Blood or Tears, the next untold story of the origin of Rock Dance Theater, coming up in a live stream on the 31st of May, which is very much around the corner, somewhere next week, right before Kids Day. So be sure not to miss that and check everything out. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hope you always enjoy the ride. Stay safe, because we are still dealing with the pandemic and we want to rock over borders and overseas. So till next time, my name is Anna Achimowicz, and let's rock live with Anna next time. See ya.